Hello, and this is Mazmashia from Percolation Gaming, and today we're going to be doing another man vs. machine tutorial, but this time we're choosing our friendly neighborhood heavy. Now the heavy is pretty straightforward. Bullet penetration is pretty important, as well as firing speed like any other class with a gun essentially. But there's also one key mechanic, well two actually, that you want to work on. And that's the knocking down of projectiles, which is a 600 credit upgrade. And pretty much whenever you shoot a missile from a soldier or some rollers from a demo man, it'll pretty much act as if you're blowing them back with the pyro air blast. It's pretty amazing. It helps so very much. Now, I kind of chose the gun that seemed the most, it was kind of like the flavor of the month really for the community, which is like the little lawnmower. Every time you charge up, it brings around this ring of fire around you that does AoE damage, but it consumes 6 ammo per second that the ring of fire is activated, as well as what you're already shooting off. So personally, I didn't find this a worthwhile investment, but your mileage may vary, of course. I really found no need to be out and about in the fray when I could just kinda chill around the dispenser, get all my ammo back, and not really have to worry about taking damage too much. So maybe if you're a more close and personal heavy, then this could do wonders for you. I mean, it will set a spy on fire if there's one around, which is kinda neat. It certainly has its moments. But in a few rounds, I'll end up switching weapons, and the weapon I choose is the Brass Beast. Now, I personally prefer this weapon over any weapon because, as you can see, I'm pretty stationary. I just camp out near the sentry gun. That's pretty much what I do the entire game. I think I have about 3 deaths, maybe, throughout this entire thing. It's kind of easy as a heavy. There isn't a lot of brain work going on here. It's not that it's boring, but it's just not that involved of a class to choose from. Now as for other weapon choices, I choose the sandwich, of course, and then the gloves of running urgently, because it comes in handy if a mob gets away, kind of like how we just saw the scout got away. That was kind of bad news right there. We had to chase him down, otherwise we would have lost on the first round. You don't want to do that. That's just embarrassing. No one wants that. Now as for tips for playing as a heavy, it's essentially just kind of staying back and absorbing damage, which a lot of your upgrades help with. As I mentioned earlier, there's the projectile knockdown, which can obviously save your teammates, and how I'm playing right now, just chilling near a dispenser, that'll obviously help my engineer buddy too. It'll keep his sentry gun alive, keep him alive, and keep myself alive as well. There's another mechanic called Rage, and every time you use Rage, it's kind of like the buff banner for the soldier, really. Every time you do a little bit of damage, it kind of ups and ups and ups until you can finally activate the charge. What Rage does is it knocks back the enemies, even the giant robots, which is incredible. I mean, if there's something getting too close to you, all you have to do is taunt, and it'll activate the Rage, and then you start firing away, and things will get knocked back incredibly fast. It's pretty crazy, actually. Now, health on kill is another important mechanic, as it is with any class that gets at least 3 kills plus a round, which realistically everyone pretty much should. It'll restore your health and even give you a little overheal for every time you get just a certain amount of kills. It's really helpful. I would say it's arguably one of the most important upgrades that you can get. Not only do you have a dispenser healing you, but you also have yourself healing you just by getting kills. And as you can see, we are getting a lot of kills. Things are practically just falling over here. I like this little spot not only because that's where the engineer chose to set up, but as you saw, I kind of ducked behind the wood there just to mitigate some damage really. Just one less thing to worry about. Now if you're a more stationary, or a more mobile heavy, then you probably would want to go with just the regular gun. I mean, the original minigun is a perfect gun. It works excellent. Or you could also go the Natasha. That slowdown can potentially help your team quite a lot. It makes enemies, well, potentially stay in the sentry gun fire longer and just in those little beginning choke points where they originally start. Destroy Projectiles. I'm pretty sure that's what I get this round, but I might not. Alright, we go with Knockback Rage this time. Now as you saw, I have another little bar on the bottom. And silly me, I didn't have my canteen equipped. Oh me. That doesn't really help. So let's kind of get that on board and get some crits. The Brass Beast and then the crits on the canteen, it just tears the tank apart. It doesn't even stand a fair chance. Now back to what I was saying before with the Rage bar. As you can tell, there is another bar above food, which is Rage. It doesn't build on tanks, unfortunately, but on regular enemies it does, and it's pretty handy. Now look, normally it takes a bit longer for people to kind of get those tanks down, but it hasn't even gone past the first choke point and it's almost dead already. Just with a heavy blasting away at it, a Wrangler sentry gun attacking at it, and then the bomb still way back here. Some really nice stuff. Heavy is definitely credit to team. Now since we're falling behind here, we need to run up and help our team out a little more. Destroy the tank, destroy the bomb carrier. Pretty standard stuff, really. Now this is the only downfall to the Brass Beast right here. You can't really move that fast. It's pretty unfortunate. But it's okay because the team ends up clearing that wave anyway. No problems. Now a mistake I made there is I should have gotten Destroy Projectiles. You ideally want to have that by at least wave probably 2 or 3. I'd say 3. It's really handy and this is really where things start to get painful. See, if I had had that, I wouldn't have been in such a state. I still probably would have been firing at people with no real worries about 17 soldier missiles hitting my face or about 21 rollers wanting to eat my face. Wave 4 is generally where things start to get a little rough. There's a lot of explosive classes in this one and focuses a lot less on scouts, which are very easy to kill. I don't think I've had a chance to activate Rage yet, but hopefully we'll get it up pretty soon and I can actually show you what's going on. But unfortunately, right as it gets charged, I end up dying. But regardless, you saw how fast it charged up. In about 10 seconds I had that bar full, just kind of spraying and praying all the enemies there. Now it's time to take revenge. For some reason this engineer just kind of doesn't run towards the sentry busters. Instead, they just kind of run around the map in a frenzied panic, not really sure what to do. I informed them early about it when we were still in the little waiting for everyone to toggle ready kind of state, but he seems to have ignored my advice. So really, we kind of all suffer for it right there. And now we finally take Destroy Projectiles, and what a help it is. Remember all those missiles and rollers that were kind of tearing us apart before? It pretty much changes this round, and it is quite awesome. Though actually, this is Pyro, so of course we don't really get to see it. Well, I guess you kinda do. I mean, look at how little damage the Demo Man did just because I ended up shooting all the rollers he shot at us. And in fact, they end up hurting him and the teammates as well. Really nice stuff. Now there are some things that I'm uncertain of, and that's whether or not Rage can knock back the tanks. Now I know for sure that it can knock back the giant soldiers, but I'm not too certain if you can knock back tanks. You can also knock back the sentry busters, though I don't really think that's too large a problem. Those things are really easy to take care of. There's one other thing I noticed as well, and that's the fact that the gloves of running urgently don't seem to damage you in Man vs. Machine. I thought perhaps that it was just kind of like in the beginning of the round where, you know, everything's free and you can charge up everything really easily, but no, it seems to go past that. The gloves just plain out don't hurt you. As you saw, I've taken no health regen at all, but you see the skull icon that it's damaging me every second, but just not in Man vs. Machine, I guess. Projectile penetration works a little differently than it does with the other classes. Every other class essentially just has one upgrade slot for the projectile penetration, but the heavies, they have 3. And what that does is in the first point, second point, and third point, they all allow 1 additional enemy upon firing. Okay, I think this one's a little more explosive, so hopefully we can kind of display the awesomeness that is Destroy Projectiles. 2 demos, good enough. Now that's the only downside of trying to activate Raid, but here it is. Those things don't even stand a chance. They fall down and they can't even move forward just because I'm shooting at them. It is intense. But it goes really fast, and unfortunately you lose about 3 seconds of that time just because you're busy taunting. And like all dangers when it comes to taunting, there's a fairly large chance that you're going to die for it. Something could come around the corner and your luck can just run out, really. Well, that was kind of a perfect timing for that phrase. My luck did indeed run out. Unfortunately, I got my face blown off. Rest in peace, Heavy. But it's okay. We are coming back with max crit canteens. It is about to get real. Thankfully, I didn't have too stupid a team, so this went incredibly fast. The match originally lasted without the kind of loading edits or the downtime edits. I think it was about 24 minutes or something really low. I think it was one of the fastest matches I've ever had for Man vs. Machine, personally. It made me quite happy. And the tank just kind of rolls over. But unfortunately, I did not upgrade ammo capacity, so I ran out pretty fast. But instead, we can just punch it. Give it a good old 1-2 left and right hook. Now if only the Heavy knew some Mortal Kombat fatalities, this tank probably would not stand even a remote chance. But it's okay. Our team takes care of it, no problems at all. And I don't think we lost 1 round, which is pretty amazing. I've never done that well. Normally we kind of lose to like 1 scout that gets by, like the Major League scouts, or something kind of silly like that. But there you go. This is essentially how to play Heavy on Man vs. Machine. There are slight variations, but not really. This has been Mazmashia from Percolation Gaming, and I'll see you next time.